This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings regular season is finally upon us. The Kings open the 2018-19 season at home against the Utah Jazz. You can listen to that game and every game this season right here on Sports 1140. Coverage begins with game night at 5:30, pregame at 6:30, and tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. The NBA season kicked off last night with the Celtics thumping the 76ers 105-87 in Boston, and the Warriors dropping the Thunder 108-100 in Oakland. In baseball, the Red Sox took a 2-1 lead in the ALCS with an 8-2 win over the Astros in Houston, while the Dodgers tied up the NLCS at 2 games apiece with a 2-1 win in 13 innings over the Brewers. It's 7:02. Carpets Plus is having our fall sale, 25% off all of your flooring needs. Those are your top stories. Now it's back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what? Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
All right, Grant Napear from LA at 7:35 talking Kings. Scott Bair, NBC Sports California, talking Raiders at 8:05. Jeff Levering, the play-by-play voice of the Milwaukee Brewers at 8:35. If we have time, we still have to clean up Nostradamus from last week. See how Kyle and I did.
I did great. So
Did you?
yeah,
I
I did not.
I think I went 2-1. I'm not sure.
Hey, it's time to visit MaidaChevy.com and see who's made a great deal at Maida.
Made a great deal. I got you.
Yeah, you see?
I
You see what they did there?
what you did there. All right, so here we go, and all guests, of course, come to you via the Fire Wings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. Kyle Madson behind the glass. Matt George to my left. Good morning, Matty.
Good morning.
How are you?
King season's here, baby.
You are excited.
Woo!
I'm excited too. I listen. We're undefeated. We're tied for. Well, no, I guess we're not tied for first place.
82-0.
We haven't even played
we're
yet.
already down.
Yeah, we haven't.
Stupid Warriors.
Haven't even played yet. We're already behind the Warriors.
Give them a head start.
All right.
Ahead of the Thunder, though.
That's a great point right there. Who expected that?
I mean,
So here's what we're going to do. Matt and I have gone back and forth. We explained a little bit of this last week. Matt is an optimist. I am a I don't like calling myself a pessimist, but I certainly have pessimist leanings.
just grumpy gills.
I've been weathered a bit.
Sure.
By this franchise.
What did Kyle call me, naive?
You could say naive. Hey, you know what though?
I like that one.
Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm naive and just don't realize how good this team's going to be. We don't know.
Let's go with that.
So throughout the year, and this was Matt's idea, throughout the year, Matt is going to make bets on this team. Now, not gambling bets, but he's going to, for example,
Gamble with the only money I have.
Tonight's first bet, yes, the money you have, which is your own ego and pride. So tonight's first bet, as I understand it, with both Dallas and Sacramento opening, who will score more points, Marvin Bagley or Luka Doncic? That's the first bet, correct?
It is going to be Marvin Bagley outscoring Luka Doncic, put in the books.
Okay, so that is what you're betting. So if you win, now originally it was just if you win, it's pride and fun and all that. I don't like that. And I don't want this to be something where I'm taking pride in you losing, because if you lose, that means my Kings lose. I don't like that. Look, should you win, you get a get-out-of-jail-free card, which would mean in the future, if you lose a bet, you'll have an opportunity to forego the punishment, and I will donate $100 in the name of the show to the Sacramento Kings Foundation.
That's
so
awesome.
Do something good about this. Should you lose, though, which you will more often than not, I believe, we will have a wheel of punishments that Bobby and our friends in promotions are making up as we speak. We will spin the wheel in the studio, and now that we are video casting, you'll be able to see it live.
Hello.
And you will have to be punished. I know one of those punishments is going to be having a bucket of ice water thrown on you while you sit down, kind of like the ice bucket challenge.
Easy.
Out in our parking lot.
Not afraid.
We've talked about you mowing lawns. Bobby came up with a great one yesterday. Kyle, you'll like this.
Damn it, Bobby.
One of Matt's punishments, I believe, should be we get to take your Twitter account over for a day.
Yes. Kyle does not.
No, Kyle can consult. I will.
You're the one hitting send.
I will hit send.
Yeah.
But Kyle will be a consultant on that, and that of course includes profile pictures and bios and all that fun
Oh
stuff.
crap! I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah. So there's that.
That's a good one.
So I want to get a couple things out here. So khdk.com, you can go to the website. I believe it's live right now.
It is. It's up.
Is it up? Okay. Hey now. So you can go there and you can check this out and you can keep track of the bets and the punishments. And of course, when we do punish you, we will try to stream that live. And in addition to streaming it live, we will post that on all of our social medias.
People will see it.
A Blind Optimist challenge. There you go with that. Oh, Matt George right there. Look at your pretty newly married face.
So there should be 5 bets already posted there, but those are not the only 5 that we're doing this year. We will add more with time as you and I and everybody else agree upon them.
All right, so the 5 bets are as follows. Tonight, Marvin Bagley will score more points in his debut than Luka Doncic.
It's a lock.
For the entire season, the Sacramento Kings will, there's a typo here. It says will as many. I'm going to assume that's will win as many or more games as they did with DeMarcus Cousins.
I think that's written in stone.
That means they'll win 33
Hey,
or
real
more.
quick, Matt, you know you don't need a credential to get in here.
You do have your credentials. Yeah.
Just so you know who I
He's
am.
got both.
You can come in anytime.
You've got your station credential. That's right. You know we're supposed to wear credentials here,
You're
right?
Yeah,
actually
I don't.
supposed to,
I don't
security
have
guard.
mine.
I think mine's in my backpack.
Yeah, mine's in my car.
And then you
Oh,
also
so the guy's doing what he's supposed to do.
well, because you also have your King's credential.
I do. I only have one lanyard.
You like wear that to the coffee shop?
Absolutely.
He turns it around. All right, Matt George.
Matt George with the Kings.
Case she gets Matt George, actually.
Case Matt George.
the
I'd like a
picture-
pumpkin spice latte, please.
Hey, nothing wrong with the PSL, dude.
No, not at all.
I am basic.
Same.
You're extra. So 33 plus for that win.
Told you. Sorry, keep going.
I sound like James Brown. Hi. Lakers on November 10th. The Kings will hold LeBron James to 20 points or less.
Yep.
Wow, you're throwing it out.
Does that
there, my
include if he doesn't play?
So that was the loophole that
Okay.
I wanted to bring up because there's a couple loopholes
So
here.
they're not holding him to under 20 points. That one just doesn't count.
That one-
You don't win or lose.
So it would just void it. Right?
I agree with that. If
Yeah.
he doesn't play, if there's an injury for any reason like that,
Same thing with the Luka one, which we'll get to in a
voids it.
second.
That's fine. But if he plays 5 minutes, it counts.
it does.
Yep.
If he knock on wood, doesn't happen. But if he were to get injured in the first quarter,
Or if he's just like, I'm done tonight.
yeah, they're up 50 after the first.
Or if he gets shut down by Justin Jackson,
Versus the Warriors, December 14th.
couldn't do it.
Tried. The Warriors won't make more than 9 3-pointers.
Okay.
It's a pretty decent one.
That's a good one.
That might be a $100 donation to the Kings Foundation on that one.
That's a good one.
Versus the Mavericks, March 21st, Luka Doncic won't score more than 14 points. These are good.
14.
14.
So 14 and a half.
But if he scores 14 and a half, Matt
Okay.
loses. I think right now going in of these 5, I think if I had to bet the 2 you're going to win, I would say the Warriors one is winnable. The Mavericks one, the 14 points, that's semi-winnable. Might go 12, 12, and 12 that night. Bagley, Doncic tonight. Interesting. Bagley going up against Rudy Gobert.
I'm feeling good tonight.
You might win this one. I could see Doncic being 12, 8, and 8.
Who do the Mavs have?
The Suns, DeAndre Ayton.
So to me, that was the face I expected. All the pressure is on Luka tonight for this bet because he's aware of it because I tweeted him.
But there's a scenario where Bagley only scores like 3 points.
Yeah, it's called lies and deceit, sir.
The Jazz defense is really good as
Put
well.
a 0 after 3.
I like this idea, and by the way, if you guys have
Really good idea.
If you guys have punishment ideas, feel free to send them in. Also, bet ideas.
People have been tweeting. I've read the ones that they've been tweeting to the drive. I've read the ones that they've been sending to you via text line. There's some really brutally great stuff that they're coming up with.
If you lose, one of the punishments should be that you have to refer to yourself for a full day on air as Turd Ferguson.
I like that one.
That's great.
Now,
what's wrong with that?
Because we'll get in trouble for that, but I think
Why?
there's something, because I don't think you can say turd when you're doing traffic and weather.
Why not?
I'm just saying I don't think he can.
Sacramento traffic. I'm Turd Ferguson.
Right? I mean,
That's
he
hilarious.
can't. No, I agree. I'm not. I'm saying I believe the sponsors might not enjoy that. So I agree.
Turd
Hey, it's on
Ferguson
Friday Night
shops at.
Football. Friday Night Football with Turd
During
Ferguson.
Friday Night Football.
Turd Ferguson and Charles the Hammer Hamilton.
Yeah, I think that might work. Friday Night Football.
Sounds like a better show than what we
I
already have.
actually like
Turd
that. I actually like that.
Hey, you know what? Hang on. Pause real quick. Can we just do that? Like, not make that a bet, but just have Matt do that?
I think that's got to be a bet. But I do think if that happens, he's not allowed to explain it, neither is Charles.
No.
You just have to
You
go
just
in and be
roll
like,
with it.
welcome in, everybody. Friday Night Football. It's Turd Ferguson alongside Charles C. Hamilton. And just go.
So, like, play it like Super Troopers, the meow.
Yeah.
So just totally brush by it.
Yep.
Absolutely. No mention of it whatsoever. Well, it'll be an inside joke for all of us.
Yep.
I like the karaoke one, but you guys said that I was.
Yeah,
gonna like it.
no, I think that's a win for you.
Damn it.
I think it's one of those, like, if you win, you can come on and sing Frozen. So we'll come up with more bets. We'll come up with more bets. We'll come up with more punishments. We will have the Wheel of Spins punishments. The Wheel of Spins. What is your now?
The Wheel of Spin sounds like my Saturday night.
Sounds like Fireball, vodka, right? If Matt loses, he has to milk a cat. That's definitely a possibility on air.
Okay.
Bring in a kitty.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Who comes up with that?
I really want to quote the movie where they say that.
We're late here.
Yeah, we are.
No bet here. This doesn't count.
Okay.
So you can go against what your DeMarcus Cousins thing is. I want to present a scenario.
Okay.
Scenario.
Now, and I'm going to get a little personal, Matt. I want you to forgive me on this.
Good.
Have I met your new wife?
We've
met once,
Have
haven't we?
met her once.
Okay.
Yes.
Love her.
Wow, so you meet Matt's significant other, but not mine. That's
I wasn't introduced, so by you.
No, you didn't. Nope.
Love your wife. Happy you guys are freshly married.
Oh no.
Matt, I'm going to give you a choice here, and you have to bet. You can't beg out of it. If you're right, you're going to win $6 million tax-free, which would put your kids through college that you don't have yet, but you will, and set you and your beautiful new family up for life. But if you lose, can't be married anymore, dude. You got to say goodbye. You got to go home and say, sweetheart, I'm sorry. This is it. I got to go. And you have to. If you don't make the bet, the world will die. I don't know. That's just top of my head. How many wins will the Kings have this year?
So if I lose,
I'm going to.
You lose everything.
So give me a number, and then I'll explain the rest of your question you're about to ask.
I feel like it's such a cop-out, but I'm playing it safe with like 10.
Okay. So I anticipated this. So I am going to make the over-under now at 10.5. See what I'm saying? I'm going to grab the over-under.
That's way too easy. It's over 10.
So truly,
I win $6 million.
what do you think? How many do you think they'll win?
Honestly, I think the Kings will beat Vegas. I think they'll do 27-28 and push 30.
You think they'll win between 27 and 30?
What's the Vegas over-under?
I think it's 26, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's 25, 26. I've seen both. I've seen 24, I think, somewhere too. But screw the Vegas over.
So I would say I feel really confident with 28, but I don't believe them breaking 30 is that far out of left field.
Okay. Could happen.
If they play fast and Dave Yeager plays the right players.
Will Dave Yeager be here at the end of the year?
My gut says no, but my heart says yes.
Agreed. All right, that's Matt George, everybody.
So what you have to tell me what the punishments are for tonight. You said there.
Oh,
I have
that's
2 to
right.
pick through. Sorry,
The
we're going
punishment
super
for
long.
tonight, Kyle. I say we just go the easy route. We just start off with the Ice Bucket Challenge. Let's just make that real easy. Whatever clothes you're wearing, we go downstairs. We film it after the show, which will be around 9:15 in the morning. Throw a laundry bucket of ice water over you. We film it. We put it out there.
Done.
Should you win, cha-ching, everybody wins. The Kings Foundation wins, and we're good to go.
Don't let me down, Bagley.
I will say this as we go to break, Matt. I hope that the Kings Foundation gets a lot of money this year out of my pocket. I hope you win a lot of these bets. I don't think you will. Matt dyeing his hair is also a phenomenal punishment. Thank you, everybody. We'll take a break. When we come back, 4-quarter territory to celebrate the opening of Kings season. One time only. We'll be doing 4-down territory with all basketball questions. Woo-hoo. We're back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's time for 4 down territory on the drive. First down.
All right, 4-quarter territory brought to you by Fire Wings.
4-point play? The
Sure.
4-point play?
21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing it. Matt George is looking at the text line to see if anybody's talking crap about him. I love it.
This is classic NBA music right here.
Classic NBA music. This is to celebrate the opening of Kings season.
I love the first question.
These are all Kings / NBA related questions. Kyle, question number 1, first quarter.
What do you need to see tonight?
Can I say that when I wrote it in the hopes that you would jump on it and laugh about it? What do you need to see tonight? Well, I need to see a basketball game. Oh, I need to see some popcorn in my hand.
Yeah, that's what I need to see.
I need to see a better performance than I saw against the Jazz last week. I need to see heart. I need to see hustle. Listen, they're almost certainly going to lose tonight. The Jazz are a sneaky pick for the Western Conference Finals. Sneaky, but they're...
Is it that sneaky?
I mean, when you have the Lakers and the Rockets and the Warriors, I think it's a little sneaky, but
Sure.
they're well coached. They're tremendous defensively. They're the exact type of team that would give a team like the Kings fits.
Right.
And you're going to have Bagley making his debut against Rudy Gobert and that interior, Derek Favors, those guys.
Yeah.
I want to see a win, but I don't need to see a win. I need to see this team hustle and have heart compared to what they didn't do last week against this team.
They might have some trouble scoring for sure, but I think that effort on the defensive end is really what I'm going to look for tonight. Obviously, you want them to do well offensively too, but defensively, I think is where they're going to really make their hay this year because they want to get out and run. And every team that's good at getting out and running, it all starts on that defensive end.
Quarter number 2.
Second quarter.
Second down.
Project the starting lineup.
All right, De'Aaron Fox is going to start at the 1. Willie Cauley-Stein is going to start at the 5, and those I'm certain of. In between's where it gets a little goofy with Bogdan Bogdanovic out. Jaeger has gone with Mason at the 2 starting games for the last couple. I'm going to go with Mason, but if he threw in a Yogi Ferrell, it wouldn't shock me. I'll go Fox, Mason. I have no reason to believe he will not start Justin Jackson. But again, he might throw a curveball in here and try to put Bielitsa at the 3 to start. I'm still going to go Justin Jackson. I believe Marvin Bagley is going to get the start at 4. So I will go Fox, Mason, Jackson, Bagley, Willie Cauley-Stein.
My only change up here, because they do have the added depth on the bench, I think they start Buddy Hield.
You think they start? I could see that too.
Yeah, I think Hield
too.
starts at the 2 with Fox, Jackson, Bagley, and Willie.
Quarter number 3.
Third down.
Who's the Kings' leading scorer? Tonight or in the season?
Tonight. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say Marvin Bagley's their leading scorer tonight.
Wow.
Marvin Bagley going against Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert. I know that I shouldn't say this. I have a weird feeling. You're going to get 13, 14 from Fox. You know, you'll get Hield's probably the
That's
pick.
my pick.
I'm gonna go Marvin Bagley just for fun.
Okay.
That way tomorrow I can be like, I told you. And if he
So
doesn't,
you think Matt's going to win his bet?
I actually do think Matt's going to win the bet tonight. I think Doncic will be like 13, 8 and 5, and Bagley will have 17, 18, something like that.
Okay.
Could be wrong. Fourth quarter.
Fourth down.
What is the final score of the Kings-Jazz game tonight?
I believe the Jazz will win 118 to 105.
I've got Jazz 109, Kings 96.
So you got them losing by 9.
Nope. 13.
What would you say? 10 what? 5?
109.
No, 109
Yeah.
to 96.
That's
You got
13.
them losing by 13. I didn't carry the 1 there. And I said 118, 105. Is that right? Do we have both of them losing by 13? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Nice, dude.
Okay, well done. We didn't even pre-plan that.
No.
Grant Napier's in Los Angeles. He's going to do Jim Rome at 9 o'clock. Hey, now. And then he will be here to call the play-by-play action on television with Doug Christie making his regular season debut as the main color commentator.
Proud of Doug, man.
Jerry Reynolds, absolutely proud for our good buddy Doug Christie and his very large grapes. That's a fruit joke, by the way, not what you think. Also, you can hear the game tonight right here at 7 p.m. on Sports 1140 KHTK. Pregame, I believe, at 6:30.
Yep.
Tip-off at 7. We're back with Grant next right here on KHTK.
Hey, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings regular season is finally upon us. The Kings open the 2018-19 regular season at home against the Utah Jazz. You can listen to that game and every game this season right here on Sports 1140. Coverage begins with game night at 5:30, pregame at 6:30, and tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. The NBA season officially kicked off last night with the Celtics beating the 76ers 105-87 in Boston, and the Warriors dropped the Thunder 108-100 in Oakland. In baseball, the Red Sox took a 2-1 lead in the ALCS with an 8-2 win over the Astros in Houston. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 8th-inning grand slam was the deciding blow in that one, and the Dodgers tied up the NLCS at 2-2 with a 2-1 win in 13 innings over the Brewers. Cody Bellinger's walk-off single won it for LA. It's 7:32. Carpets Plus is having our fall sale, 25% off all of your flooring needs. Those are your top stories, and now it's back to the drive with Carmichael Dave on Sports 1140 KHT.
Okay.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
All right, Grant Napear is ready to go. Kyle getting him on the phone from from Los Angeles, one of the Las Cruces. He'll be doing the Jim Rome show today, so you can see him on the television as well from 9 to noon. And then he's going to fly back and do tonight's game with Doug Christie on the television.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
When I travel for the day, I'm like, nope.
I'm done.
Like, I'm just done for today.
I'm completely done.
Like, I got to fly today. There's nothing else I can do. Hey, it's time to visit MaidaChevy.com and see who's made a great deal at Maida.
Oh, boy!
Yup. All right. Listen, a lot of you are... Sometimes we drop tiny things on the show, and then people go, oh, my God, what was that? A lot of people are asking about the Doug Christie has large grapes reference. Guys, don't think dirty. We were at a fantasy football draft about 2 years ago, and Doug rolls in, and Doug's a very healthy guy. He eats right and, all that. And he had a box, and I've told this story in the air before. He had a little plastic box of grapes, of Thompson seedless grapes. But I swear it was like they were out of a test tube, some new strain of grapes. These grapes were so big that you had to bite them. Like usually you put a grape in your mouth and chew it. These grapes were like jawbreakers. You had to bite the grape, eat it, and then take a second bite of the grape. So that's the running joke, is Doug Christie has the biggest grapes I've ever seen, which is a fact, and is referring to the fruit.
Like, really, like golf ball-sized grapes.
Things were huge. All right, joining us right now. The text line says, why the hell is Grant Napear in Los Angeles? Someone let him know the Kings play at Golden One Center. Well, he's doing Jim Rome today from 9 to noon. You can hear him right here on KHTK, and then turn the sound down on your TV. You can watch it on television as well. He's going to be all dressed up. And then he's flying back, and he'll be on with the aforementioned Doug Christie doing tonight's opening night against the Utah Jazz. And you can hear that with Gary Gerald right here at 7 o'clock, Sports 1140 KHTK. And he joins us, as we love checking in with him every once in a while for really no reason. But tonight we have a big reason with the opening of the Sacramento Kings season. What's up, Napes? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. You, I assume you got down there last night. You ready to go and do some national radio today?
I am good to go. I was just listening to the Dodgers flagship station down here, and it's kind of funny listening to the Manny Machado talk. I get a kick. I just get a kick, whenever you're in the home market and what they're saying, and it's I get a real kick out of that. I don't know how many people stayed up to watch the end of that game last night, but that was a great baseball game. I know that's not why I'm on to talk about the Dodgers and the Brewers, but that was I got to tell you, that was a heck of a game last night.
No, we talked about it earlier. We talked about Manny Machado, who is as Christian Yelich said, it's a dirty play from a dirty player who also happens to be a tremendous baseball player as well. There's no room for that at all. And then back in the day, Manny Machado is not going to be digging into the batter's box for the rest of the series. I don't know what's going to happen here, Grant. We asked this earlier. I'll ask you. If baseball, they won't, but if baseball were to come down today and suspend Manny Machado for Game 5, would you have an issue with that?
Yeah, what are you going to suspend him for? I don't think what he did was that egregious. Was it uncalled for? Yeah, but was it egregious that would warrant a suspensions? No. I was just listening to Steve Sachs down here, and he was saying, forget about it. He goes, you know what? He goes, if you're the Brewers, forget about it. He goes, this is the playoffs. Don't worry about Manny Machado. If you're really worried about him, worry about him next year. He goes, you can't do anything that's going to affect the outcome of this pivotal Game 5 this afternoon. He said, listen, he goes, if the Brewers are upset, we heard what Yelich said after the game, who cares? You know what? It's the playoffs. He goes, forget about it. If you want to deal with them next year. Don't, he said, time to move on.
Do you throw him behind him?
No, absolutely not, because then what you're going to have the home plate umpire give a warning to both dugouts, and it's going to take the inner half of the plate away from Clayton Kershaw. And, again, you don't want to go there. It's the playoffs. Don't do anything stupid. It's not like, it wasn't egregious enough, in my opinion, to take further action in these remaining games. I don't think you're going to see anything at all. These are the playoffs. I mean, one stupid play, again, the last thing you want, if you're Clayton Kershaw, is getting a warning from the home plate umpire because, the Brewers threw at Manny Machado, and now it's going to be a warning for both teams. You don't want that. So absolutely not. I don't think anything's going to happen today.
Yeah, and then baseball memories last forever. So, yeah, if they want to go get him, they're going to go get him next season. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. It's not, there's too much on the line right now. I mean, if you're a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers and you're thinking, gee, what are they going to do to Manny Machado? Then that means that Machado's in the head of the Brewers, and you don't want to think that of your team when you're getting ready to play the biggest game that you're going to play all year. I mean, let's face it. To me, the Dodgers pretty much have to win today. I just don't see them going back to Milwaukee and winning games 6 or 7. Milwaukee's still in the driver's seat here. But the last thing you want to do is be worrying about Manny Machado.
Well, and the best thing they can do is knock him out. I mean, that's out of the playoffs. I mean, not physically.
Yeah.
Grant Napear joining us from L.A. All right, so we've got a few minutes left, and before Kings fans riot because they want to hear Kings preview stuff, although I could talk baseball with you all day. Interesting year for this team. I'm going to start out with what I think is a difficult question. Vlade Divac said after the DeMarcus Cousins trade, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, forgive me, but basically if this thing's not turned around in 2 years, I'm going to step down. Now, whether we hold him to that or not, whether we take that seriously or not, let me ask you this. At the end of the season, in your mind, what do you need to see to look at Vlade Divac in that front office and say, no, they're doing a good job and we need to hold on to this?
Well, I think Marvin Bagley and Harry Giles need to be first and second All-NBA rookie teams. De'Aaron Fox has to look like a guy that we're like, wow, okay, the Kings have their stud point guard for many years to come. I think if just those things happen alone, then it's full steam ahead. I really believe that. And I think that there's a good chance of those three things happening. I love what I've seen from Marvin Bagley in the preseason. I think the guy's going to be a hell of a player. I think he has all-star capabilities down the road. We talk so much about Harry Giles, but now we have to see it with this season starting tonight. And we got a glimpse of what De'Aaron Fox can be in that Lakers game and some other stints during the preseason. But the season's not one game, it's not one quarter, it's not one half, it's 82 games. And everyone is projecting this team to win in the mid-20s. Well, let's see if they can do better than that. Let's see how many games they're in. Let's see how many times they have a chance to win with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. To me, if the Kings are in a position to win a game tonight with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, even if they lose, I'm going to call that a pretty good debut because they're playing a team that I think is going to win 50-plus games this year. I think the Jazz are one of the top 4 teams in the West. They're loaded. They have everything except for maybe that point guard. I'm not sold on Rubio because he can't shoot, but they have Dante Exum. I mean, they when you look at this team, they have the best defensive player in the game, in my opinion, in Rudy Gobert. They shoot with Joe Ingles. We know about Mitchell. I mean, this team is really, really good. You got Derek Favors. I can go on and on. So here's the deal tonight. I want to see this Kings team in the game with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, do they have a chance to win the game? That would be, if we get to that point, I'm like, wow, okay, that's a really good start. Now, of course, I want to win. Fans want to win. I get that, but you also have to be realistic about this. You're playing a team that's much better than you tonight, and the only way you're going to win the game, you have to play an A game. And if you play an A game and the Jazz play an A game, well, the Jazz are going to win. You have to play an A game and hope they play a B or a C game.
You said something to me. You and I were talking on the phone yesterday, and I believe you said this on your show either yesterday or the day before. That unlike last year, where you had said wins weren't really in your head. They didn't matter. That wins matter to you more this season.
Absolutely.
So for my purposes, if the Kings win 28, the Kings win 22, other than a difference of 6 games, what's the difference between them winning 28 and 22 in your mind, or 21?
Well, a lot would be the point differential. I think the point differential is really important. Last year's point differential was horrendous. It was awful. I look at the point differential. I don't look at it until you get to about 25 games into the season, because it doesn't mean anything until you get into one quarter or more of the season. But I would look at point differential. All right, how many of those losses were you in the game in the fourth quarter? How many of those losses were you totally out of the game when the fourth quarter began? Because that's called competitiveness. Listen, again, I go back to being realistic and being objective. There are no bad teams in the West, including the Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Agreed.
You look at what they added with Trevor Ariza and Ryan Anderson. You look at Devin Booker. You look at, they're not a bad team anymore. Now, they're not a playoff team, in my opinion, but who are you going to play in the West where you play multiple times, more than 2, like you do in the East? All right. You look at your division alone, all right? Now all of a sudden the Lakers have LeBron. You play them 4 times. You play the Warriors 4 times. Look at the Houston Rockets, okay? Look at the teams that you have to play multiple times, the Jazz, the Blazers. I can go on and on. So if you look at the teams in the West, again, we're being realistic here, right? We're being objective. Who in the West is a bad team? There are no bad teams in the West if you look at it from Sacramento's perspective. In the East, there are many bad teams, but they're not in the East. They're in the West. So, to me, I want to see in the losses, how competitive were you in the losses? That's going to be a real gauge this year.
I want to remind everybody, Grant Napear will be, in addition to are you doing your show this afternoon too, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
of course.
Okay. So in L.A. right now to do Jim Rome 9 to noon. He's going to do his show leading into the Kings game tonight, which he'll be doing play-by-play. Also co-hosting his show with Doug Christie, as well as on the television as well, right here on Cage to K. Gary Jarrett will be on at 7 o'clock. So when you look at Coach Yeager, he said something yesterday that caught my ear when I think it was Sean Cunningham was asking him about minutes and starting lineups. And he said, I'm serving a lot of masters when it comes to minutes. And I don't know if he was referring to serving the players themselves and trying to get them minutes. I don't know if he was referring to the fans or the front office or whatever it was. But if you're Coach Yeager, let me start with this. What do you do with Zach Randolph and Kosta Koufos this year?
I think you play your best players. I think this year's about winning, and I think this year is about, last year was not about winning. Last year was about developing the young guys. Now, I understand there are still a lot of young players, but the fans want to see the best team on the floor. And in my opinion, you put the best team out on the floor. I think it's pretty simple. It is professional basketball. You can't just keep on going to the fans every year and say, winning's not important. I said that last year because I meant it. I'm not saying that this year. So I'm not coaching the team though either, and I don't answer to the owner of the team and the front office and what their long-term goals are. But to me, I think you put your best players on the floor. Now, I don't know if Zach Randolph's one of the team's best players on the floor, especially, and I love Zach to death, but can Zach play in this tempo, running up and down with De'Aaron Fox? I'm not so sure that he can. And then I don't know what Kosta's health issue is. We didn't see him play one down in the preseason because of his hamstring. So I don't even know if that's a relevant question right now. But, to me, at some point you have to tell the fans, hey, we're trying to go out and win every game. Now, they haven't come out and said we're not trying to win every game, but the fans can see what's going on. Again, I'm not coaching a team, but I would like to see the mantra is, hey, we are going to go out and win every game that we can, and we're going to put our best players on the floor, period. I'm
going to ask you a similar question about Dave Yeager that I asked you about Vlade Divac. Coach Yeager's contract is through next year, and you and I both know Coach is going into a contract year is a rarity here. He's either getting fired or extended, odds are, in the summertime. At the end of the year, what in your mind does Coach Yeager need to do, or what do you need to see from him and from his team to warrant that extension?
I think he has to pass the eyeball test, and I think we all know what that means. I think we all can watch this team play this year, and we all can say, oh, wow, okay, this team is definitely on the uptick. They are definitely heading in the right direction. The team played real hard and competitive for the most part. You know, you're going to have some bad games. Every team has bad games, but you have to pass the eyeball test. That's what I'm looking at this year. I mean, again, I don't want to contradict myself because I said wins are important. But, you know, I mean, you watch this team every night just like I do. You know when the team is heading in the right direction, and you know when the team is like, oh, my God, this team's going nowhere. Yeah. So you got to pass the eyeball test. And I think anyone that watches the team play this year will know when we get to March and April whether the enthusiasm, the excitement, the ascent, not the descent, but this team is ascending, and they are clearly going to be a playoff team in the very near future. That's where I think you have to be when you get to April.
You and I both talk to a lot of fans throughout the season, and you and I are both fans of this team and want to see them do well. When you have a fan on your show or on Twitter or in some other aspect come up to you, let's say, and say, Grant, it's been 12, 13 years. We're not going to make the playoffs this year. Why do I even spend time watching this team? We're always 2 years away from being 2 years away. I know what I say. What do you say, though, when you got a fan asking, why should I be watching this year?
I don't know. What do you watch sports for? Do you only watch sports for your team to win? And if they're not winning, you don't watch it anymore? I've never grown up like that. I grew up in an era where my two favorite teams were horrible. You know, the Yankees and the Giants were horrible for my entire childhood. Never saw them win. Never saw them win until, basically I was 18 years old, and I started watching sports when I was 3. So I went through 15 years of horrible, horrible last place finishes every year. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask each individual, why do they watch sports? I watch sports for the beauty of the game. Do I want my teams to win? Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm a diehard New York Giants fan. They're 1-5. Am I going to be watching Monday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons when I'm on the road? Hell yeah, I'm going to be watching the game. I mean, I don't know why people watch sports for. I watch sports for entertainment. I watch it to see, if the Kings are, let's say we get to March 1st and the Kings have 20 wins, I mean, are you not going to watch Harry Giles and Marvin Bagley because they've been playing well? And again, I think both those guys are going to be really good. Are you going to stop watching because the Kings are losing to better teams, but yet they're fun to watch and De'Aaron Fox looks like he's really improving? I mean, that's for each individual. I've never quite understood that mentality. I mean, I understand, if there's, you're at a game and it's just a horrible game and you're down by 30 and you leave at the end of the third quarter. That was even foreign to me, but I get that now. But that stuff's foreign to me, Dave. I just never grew up like that. I've always watched my teams play. Not only am I the announcer for the Kings, this is my favorite basketball team. I love them just as much as everybody else. Are there times where I wish I could walk out of the building? Yeah, there have been some times. I'm not going to lie to you. But would I go back the next night and sit there and do it all over again? Hell yeah. Would I look forward to it? Heck yeah. That's what being a fan is all about. I do the same thing with my teams that I do on a recreational level. When I'm at home on Sunday and I'm watching, listen, I watch just about every game that's played on Sunday. I have 3 TVs on my wall. People say, well, gee, that's your job. Well, in this day and age, I don't have to watch the games to do my job. I could get it all sent to me in a very quick capsule form at night on one of the sports shows. I do it because that's what I do. I'm a fan. I don't gamble. I don't play fantasy football. I do it for the love of what sports is. I just think there are too many people that don't look at it that way, but I'm maybe old-fashioned, maybe old school, but that's why I watch sports. That's why I do what I do for a living. I'm never going to turn this stuff off.
The Kings won 27 wins last year. Or won 27 times last year. Is it possible? Could they win 25 or 26 this year, for example, and have it still be a successful year?
Yeah, again, if you look at the point differential, I mean, listen, if you go on the radio tomorrow morning, I'm saying if, and with 5 minutes left in the game tonight, the game is tied or within 2 possessions. All right, and the Kings, the place was going crazy, and we got everything that you wanted out of this team for one night. And then the Jazz go on an 8-0 run in the final 2 minutes and 45 seconds to win the game by 10. What are you going to come on the radio in the morning and say? Are you going to say, gee, that was a horrible performance?
No.
Are you going to say, gee, you're probably going to say, wow, okay, I really like what I saw, and you're probably going to be positive as opposed to negative. So, again, I think point differential is going to determine a lot. I want the team to win. But I'm also realistic. I just went over the entire Western Conference, and that's who you're playing on most nights. It's going to be hard to win this year because of the West. The West is loaded, absolutely loaded. So I'm looking at, I'm looking at wins, but I'm also looking at competitiveness, point differential, and it's a long season. The season's not just one game. It's not this week. It's like, all right, is the team in January, when we get to February 1st, are we going to say that the team's much better than they were in November? Well, we better, because if not, then you're not passing the eyeball test.
Grant Napear with us from L.A. Listen to him at 9 a.m., 9 to noon. He'll be doing Jim Rome, fly back here, do his afternoon show with Doug, and then do opening night tonight for your Sacramento Kings. Last thing on the Kings, Grant, Marvin Bagley's going to get a lot of the spotlight this year, so will De'Aaron Fox. Harry Giles is very quietly showing up on some national writers' Rookie of the Year forms as a possibility. Harry seems like this crazy awesome enigma of a player. If he stays healthy, it seems like the sky's the limit for him. But in his attitude and the way he carries himself, do you see a little bit of some of the better players from Kings past?
Yeah, he's got, Doug likes to say he's got, a lot of dog in him, and his approach. And I think that the fact that it's been taken away from him on 2 different occasions, and I think that he is so appreciative and truly does not take anything for granted and approaches every time he steps onto the court like that. I also think that, at one point, Harry was the best player in the land for his age.
Yeah.
And I think that he is driven to get back there because he's not there anymore. In other words, he lost that with his, long period of recuperation with his ACLs. He's driven to be great. He's driven to get back to where everybody considered him, for his age, the best player in the country. And I think that just drives him every day. He is, I don't know if I can adequately explain how amazing of a human being he is and the way he conducts himself around people when he's not on the floor, when he's at social functions. I mean, he literally goes up and shakes everybody's hands. He doesn't leave out of the back door. Before he leaves, he goes up and says, hey, thank you for being here. Hey, thank you. And he shakes everybody's hands, and he's like, he gets it. He has the whole package. And if he stays healthy, hey, look out. I think he has a chance to be really good. And I predict Marvin Bagley is going to be first team All-NBA rookie. I think the guy is going to be tremendous. The way he played at the last part of the preseason compared to the beginning of the preseason was night and day. I don't see any way, barring injury, that he's not going to be, at the worst, a very good NBA player. I think he's going to be tremendous. So I'm excited about the future, and yet I say that knowing that maybe the team only wins 25 wins. Maybe they only win 28. Maybe they only win 29. But again, eyeball test, point differential. We all will know. Okay, I don't have to go on the air and manufacture stuff, or you do, and not. But my point is, we're going to know. Let's sit back. Let's watch this team, and when we get to the springtime, I think we'll all know whether this rebuild has worked or if it's a flop. I think we'll know when we get to the springtime.
I don't think the Kings would go for this. I know the fans wouldn't go for it, but I'm just curious if you could. Would you trade jobs next week with me? You do mornings, and I get to go on that. I get to go on that road trip and hit New Orleans.
You know what? Actually, to be honest with you, I would have no problem with that. Other than the games, I would hate to miss the games, but I would be fine with not going to New Orleans and Oklahoma City. Although we are going to be in Oklahoma City on a Saturday night, and I do love eating at Mickey Mantle's, so I would hate to pass that up on a Saturday night.
What is that? Bricktown? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, Bricktown. Yeah, I love it. I love that area.
Well, any chance we're going to get? Can I get you to try one New Orleans dish while you're out there this Friday? Any chance? No,
not going to happen.
You're going to go to New Orleans and order a
Sorry,
steak.
Buddy. Yeah, exactly.
Not even a beignet?
No, nothing. He doesn't do any of it.
You know what? The beignets are pretty good. Wow. I like beignets. They're not bad, but you got to be careful how many of those you eat. Beignets are good. I like those.
Great point right there.
You're not a beignet guy?
No, I am.
I love a beignet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking you just swore everything. No gumbo, no jambalaya, no boudin, none of that for Grant.
I don't even know what boudin is. I don't know what that is.
It's a sausage, basically.
You know what? It depends. I'd have to know. Gumbo, it's too. It's. I mean, I'm not going to do that. I got to know what's in my food, and then I don't have to know, but I like to know. So, a little beignet. Yeah, absolutely. No coffee though. You go to Dumont's? Are you a tourist guy? You go to Dumont's?
No, I go. There's one right across. I don't go to Dumont's. I go to the one across the street, and then I also don't go to Central Grocery for my muffaletta sandwich. I go to the one right next to that with the New York guys serving them out. They're better sandwiches, anyways. I don't do the tourist stuff. Grant, come on now. I'm a world traveler.
I have to go to New Orleans.
Yeah, you are a world traveler. You are a world traveler. Absolutely.
Grant Napear will be on this station quite a bit today. He will be doing Jim Rome national work for Grant Napear, also on TV as well. 9 to noon, flying back, doing his show from 3 to whenever. A pregame, I think, is 6:30. He bugs out, I want to say, around, 6 o'clock, Grant, for that?
5:30. We have game night at 5:30. So Doug and I will be on at 5:30, and then we get ready for TV, game night, and then the pregame at 6:30. You know, you need to know these things.
I do. Hey, you're gonna sleep well tonight, Bubba.
Yeah, I am, but I'm not gonna. I'm so excited right now for the whole day. Like I can't wait for just everything to unfold. The only thing that I'm worried about, because it's completely out of my control, I need my flight to be on time today.
That's a good point.
Other than that, everything I can control. Everything else, I can't control the outcome of the Kings game, but you know what? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think the start of a new season, everybody's excited.
Appreciate your time as always, my man.
All right, guys.
All right, you take care. That's Grant Napear. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll switch off basketball for a second. We will go to your Oakland Raiders, and Scott Barry joins us each and every Wednesday on the Fire Wings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. We'll talk to Scott about Raiders. Jeff Levering, the play-by-play voice of the Milwaukee Brewers, joins us from LA at 8:35, and then Nostradamus, if we have time, at 8:45. Boy, do we have a big second half, or should I say last hour for you. Sacramento Kings open tonight. We're excited, and we got it all right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.